a lot of improvements.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Tons. I would say most of her like aggression kind of stuff has been fairly under control. Now we're noticing mostly when we're like trying to do things with her. Nails, brushing, cutting out mats, cleaning her even, like if we
General
need to
grooming and handling.
yeah, if we need to like get in her feet, that's like a
Okay. What about how she's a vet?
great.
She's good at the vet?
Which is annoying. Because they really get all up in everywhere.
Yeah.
There's times that like I get anxiety, like, oh man, is she gonna do anything?
Sure.
But she doesn't show any of the signs to them.
I got you.
Yeah, and it's not that we can't do stuff to her feet, but it's just a very
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
unstable. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she's got me twice lately, and one I was getting snow out from her feet that was jammed in there. I tried to push her a bit forward to get the towel, and she was so, I think, just tense from me getting at her feet that when I went to move her, she snapped.
I got you.
The other time we were in the shower, we were outside, her paws got muddy, so I took them up just to wash them down. I couldn't see her to see if she was raising her lips or anything, but I grabbed her front one on like the other side, and it was a kind of bad spot, but she snapped and got my hand. So it's, but we've had her in the shower before and cleaned out her paws.
I got you. Yeah.
But it is something we're always kind of on guard, trying to be.
Well, the positive thing is, like, when you messaged me about it, is grooming-related, like, aggression issues, right, are pretty common, and they're pretty simple to work through, you know? Because it's one of those things where it's a very predictable scenario of when she's going to display it, so we can always make sure we're in a position to either address it or make sure that she's not in a position to actually fight us, which will also then obviously continue to help her through that issue. Now, you said outside of that kind of stuff, where are you at with everything else?
I would say the only other time that I notice any kind of aggression is like if she gets surprised by something. So like mid-sleep the other night, we didn't know she was in front of the ottoman, we moved it, and she like immediately snapped back around.
Which wasn't, I don't think it was like necessarily either one of us, but just like,
Sure, just in general.
triggered an emotion.
It hasn't been like has it been, are you noticing it's more of just like the snap as opposed to before it was like it was like kind of snap plus some? Does that make sense?
I would say yes, it's scaled back a bit, except for the grooming part, like that she actually is making contact. And like her snarl is a fairly telltale sign that if you keep doing it, that's exactly what's gonna happen. So the second she raises her lips, we like start correcting for that because it gets her in a different state of mind, it seems, but we don't always catch it.
You know, some of this kind of stuff, like, yes, corrections are very important for these types of things, right? Like, we want to obviously suppress these behaviors and correct these behaviors and stuff, but there's something to be said, you'll see here, there's something to be said about, like, when we get a lot of dogs in that have grooming-related aggression issues, just, you know, muzzling them up and just showing them simply, it just doesn't freaking work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's really something to be said about that battle of wills and them just realizing, like, you could try this, and you're not going to stop doing it because of this correction. You're just going to stop doing it because you realize, like, it ain't working with me right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll take a look at some of that kind of stuff and just go over some general grooming and stuff. We'll see how much we're able to get out of it here, obviously. But the big thing is we'll be able to put in place the building blocks so you can try it at home safely and then see what we get at home when you guys go to do it. And then at that point, if it's like drastically different than what we saw here, at that point just, you know, take videos of it so that I can see it, and then we can discuss adjustments and stuff we need to make from there.
Okay.
So,
cool.
Has she worn a muzzle before?
Early on in training, yes, she did. Yeah.
Come on. Like now. I'll be grabbing Alicia and just hand that to me real quick. Thank you. Here.
Yeah, I think we tried to put one on some recently, and it was a little too small on her, so I think we.
Yeah.
Do you just have one?
I have two, so I just need to know the right size, I guess. I'll have to look. I feel like there's like a 4 and a 5 size at home. So.
This one's a 4. This one's pretty snug. So, I mean, the 5 probably is going to be a better size, but either will work.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I had it on upside down then, because I think wasn't the strap like coming between her eyes?
Well, there is typically a strap that goes from here to here. I usually
that's
take them off though, like at this, but she can't get that thing off.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
So, a lot of times that center strap rubs a lot right here, and it can cause a lot of irritation.
Got
So,
Okay.
all right, so all I'm going to do to start here is forget nails, forget anything. I'm just going to do general handling, you know?
Okay.
Do you want her remote?
Not yet. Like I said, I'm going to try to get away with not using any sort of corrections or anything for this, and just see baseline where we're at with stuff, you know? Definitely uncomfortable.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
like, what are you doing?
It's been a while since we've been here.
You'll feel it. She's got an ear infection right now too, so.
Yeah. Got all that good liquids in there.
Yeah. But like her ears are one of the
It
things
actually
like
looks pretty good.
I want to be able to like trim some of that out to maybe
Yeah.
try to avoid that
Sure.
and like get the mats behind her ears, but
Don't they just pluck it out? Isn't that what groomers typically do?
maybe.
I don't really know.
I don't know. I'm just gonna trim it out
Yeah.
just to keep her ears clean.
Does she go to a groomer?
No.
No.
Honestly, I'd be kind of afraid to send her to one right now.
I gotcha.
I don't know, maybe they're very well versed in this, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be like liable.
Sure.
It's tough to tell if she's reacting.
Ooh, man, you got some talons here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get those cut down.
We haven't been here for a while for boarding. This is first year. Normally gets it.
It's alright, yeah.
You guys got a bunch of travel coming up this year, or?
Oh, we do have some, yeah. So
We have-
she'll definitely be back.
We have so many freaking weddings to go to, it's insane.
Oh yeah.
I think there's like
Everything's
6
backed
or
up.
7 of them this year we have.
Wow.
Luckily, most of them are in town, but.
Yeah, that's a pretty big lineup
Yeah.
for one summer,
Yeah.
or 1 year, I should say.
And I think there's 2 out of town ones. They're actually, one of them's in, it's in Asheville, North Carolina, which I've never been to, so I'm
Oh,
pretty pumped to
nice.
go there.
Yeah. I haven't been there either, but I hear it's awesome.
Yeah, and the other one's in Nashville.
That might be fun too.
I'm not a Nashville fan. It's just too much for me.
I think it depends where you are.
It's probably true.
East Nashville's pretty cool.
I feel like it's one of those situations where you take your car in and tell them it's making a noise and it doesn't make a noise.
Truthfully, I kind of expect that she's going to be pretty good with this here, you know? The biggest thing I want you guys to see is if we do get anything, how we handle it more than anything, you know? Because like I said, let's say she were to turn around and just start snapping at my hand right now. Truthfully, most times I would just kind of hold and just wait for a second, you know, until she stopped on her own, and then I would jump right back into doing whatever I needed to. And my goal would be, if I absolutely needed to give a correction, I would, but if I could just get her realizing again that that behavior, that impulsive behavior because you're scared just isn't working, you know, that she's gonna learn a lot more from.
Okay. It's gonna take some mental training of either one, if not both of us, to not naturally just want to let go.
Yep.
Yeah. That's definitely the scary part.
Yep. And again, like if it's really, really intense, like I said, I recommend if we don't see anything right now, that you guys film it the first time you do so we can see kind of what we're working with.
Okay.
But that's gonna kind of be the idea.
Yeah. I mean, I've taken a trimmer to her paws to get some of the hair out on the bottoms.
Yep.
So she has better grip, and like I was able to complete that without having an incident. I mean, she raised her lips a couple times, but
Yep. Sure.
so it's doable. It's just
Yep. It's the unpredictability with it, and it's the fact that when you're doing it, you're probably not doing it in a way where, like with the muzzle, like let's say moving forward right now, like anytime you're doing these grooming related things, just do it with the muzzle, so when you run into those one-off situations where she does try to do it, it doesn't derail everything. You know what I mean? Because if you're doing it and it's 99% of the time fine without the muzzle, but that one time it's not fine, you have to stop. There's no alternative.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta be prepared every time you do it, so when you run into that one-off time, it's not a problem.
yeah, that makes sense. I've been
Like this, for example, like the little snapping and stuff. Because we have that muzzle on, I'm in a position where it doesn't do anything. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I have been pretty discouraged as of late, especially after the second time.
Oh, of course.
Jogging.
Yeah. Cleaned up paw there. Get the other one.
Yeah, I will say, like, things that are powerful-ish, she does get pretty, like,
Little freaked out.
about, yeah.
Yep.
Even like my blow dryer, so I
Yep.
try to practice with that. Letting her touch those things.
And you can tell we are seeing a little bit of it here, you know?
Yeah.
It's that fear impulsive behavior of snap, run away,
Yeah.
right?
Are you in the social media too? Mm-hmm. Nice.
You can throw all that hair, you know?
Right. And you just don't say anything. You just keep going. No
That
reaction.
is correct. No need for it right now. You know, we're not correcting for anything, right? We're not asking her to do anything. You know what I mean? This is just general like physical manipulation and stuff at this point.
I like doing adjustment.
Right. Yep.
Nose are safe word. Maybe good be whirlwind.
It's good to see this too, because even how you have her leg or how she's pulling around, I'd be worried of it hurting her, which.
Oh yeah. No, they're.
She can readjust herself.
She can adjust herself. You know, and if she does like a backflip around me or something, I'll adjust.
Yeah. It just.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
There.
That was,
Try to get him.
she looked pretty snarled there, I think. Yeah. There we go. So she just settled in.
And this is what I mean about kind of that battle of wills where she's just like, this ain't working, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not super big into the whole like, you know, dominance this, alpha that, this, that, you know what I mean? But there is something to be said about like, she's realized that she's like superior than people in certain places when she can get away with these types of things. So as she's kind of essentially challenging me for doing these types of things, like I'm just showing her that that's not working. And this is what you would consider to be like them kind of basically putting themselves into a submissive position then at that point. And then obviously being calm is so essential with this, you know? Like if she adds energy into things, like I'm not like feeding into it or anything.
Yeah.
Hold. Come on.
That was one for sure.
So I am glad that we're seeing a little bit of this though, so you can see again, it's just a matter of calmly working through it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that last one right there, that was it. I mean,
Yep.
If you didn't have that muzzle on it, it was,
100%.
yep.
And that's typically where things would get derailed and we would end the session, you know? We'd have to, right?
Yeah.
And she's realized like, wow, like I just tried and it didn't work and we're right back to it. And you see now she's at the heavy panting
Yeah.
and stuff because she's shocked. She's like, what the heck was that? Like that didn't work, it usually does.
How's the new facility going?
It's great. Yeah, we use it all the time. So we have, it's across the parking lot. Basically what it is just two really big open rooms that we can do one-on-one sessions out of, you know?
Okay.
So like in the winter time and stuff, because we have two one-on-one trainers, myself does lessons, we have two board and train trainers, that do send home sometimes and need space to work dogs in. So it's just there wasn't enough space for everybody.
Yeah, right.
You know, so now we have the rooms where everybody kind of has their own area to be able to do their sessions out of, and you know, if we need a more quiet area or something away from the kennels and stuff, you know, because we have a new dog in or something, we're able to do that.
You guys are rock and rolling.
Yeah, it's been good.
She looks much more in a calm state currently.
Yeah. And you know, we're really, I mean, I'm really getting all up in here, right? Like,
Yeah.
that wasn't so bad, was it? Yes, it was. That was horrible. I think I shaved 10 years off my life breathing in all your natal dust. Let her hang out for a second here and we'll move on to something else.
The idea is that I don't react.
What's that?
The idea is I don't react.
Yeah, the idea is you go about this just as normal, and if you see her turn around and snap or something, yeah, just keep doing it.
This little magic brush. Look at all this.
This is my favorite kind of brush in the world. It's called an undercoat rake.
Well, that's what she needs right now.
Rips everything out from under there.
She's been shedding. I feel like it's way worse now
Yeah.
than it has been
I'm
in
gonna fill this up in no time.
a year and a half.
And you can just, whenever it's full, just pluck it out and put it on the ground and vacuum it later.
I have been trying to do a little bit of brushing every day with her, so
Mhm.
this
It's probably a
been
little
working
easier.
on it.
Yeah.
But she definitely seems more calm than normal.
She's exhausted now.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
Everyone.
Yeah. This is unreal. Got the map back here.
Yeah, I felt like one or two as I was doing the pause somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's a couple back there. No, oh,
Don't even worry about any commands with this. Just
Okay.
use that leash, get around and back over to you.
okay.
She looks defeated.
Good.
But this sometimes is a bit of like a warning sign when she starts to
Sure.
dip her head like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's always in hindsight that you're like, okay.
Yeah, I don't
Usually
know
what
why
I-
she does that.
Usually what I look at is like, it's the breathing. You know, a lot of times when they start holding their breath and doing something like that, that's a pretty telltale sign.
Okay.
But if you're seeing that they're like actively panting, that's
That's
typically a sign of them kind of letting some of that stress out.
Okay.
Like it's still like quote unquote stress panting, right? But like when they're panting, there's typically a little bit more relaxed of a state of mind.
Okay. Yeah, good to know.
She probably won't like the back of her legs, so we'll try that.
It's alright, yeah. If you need to, like, you can grab the paw, you can grab the leg and brush it out and stuff. I want you to really make this kind of challenging. Just do it however you would need to do it.
I'm scared.
I get it. That's alright.
It's gonna take a mental adjustment.
Yeah,
for
for
us
sure.
not to.
Biggest thing is she's not gonna be able to like get through that. You'll be alright. Yeah, you see it kind of tenses up, holding the breath, right?
Is it okay, like, if she is doing that and not reacting, or once she gets into a state where she's panting and I'm doing that, to, like, tell her that was good?
I wouldn't
Not to
even
mark
worry
it,
about
no,
it.
okay.
It's not wrong to necessarily, but it's like, why? You know, there's no need for it right now. Unless we were gonna actually give a reward, which, again, we'll get into in a minute here, like how we could start incorporating rewards into this process, obviously.
Okay.
Okay,
But right now, we're not worried about that. There are some of these things that are just kind of like givens, like you just kind of have to do it.
She wasn't happy. She's drilling.
Started to a little bit when you were, This thing is wild, how like deep it gets into the,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can get them off Amazon for like $10. They're sweet.
Well, that's the first thing I'm gonna go home and order. When you put the muzzle on, this time I think she was unsuspecting, so
Yeah.
you just kind of slapped it right on. Normally, how would you do that? Like, let's say she starts noticing, like, okay, this stuff goes on, and then bad things happen that I don't like. Would
Yeah.
you entice her with a treat, or how do you normally do it? You just
You gotta
make
just
her
get
do
it
it.
on. Yeah,
Just do
yeah.
it.
So leash her up first so that she
Okay.
can't run away, and then just pop that thing on, you know? And just like I did, like whether she's suspecting it or not, just get it on as quick as you can, you know?
Okay.
And all of this stuff comes down to, and I know it's easier said than done, but like, just not making that big of a deal out of it. We're just putting it on, and then we're doing this, you know? And honestly, like, nothing that bad is happening, right? And I think she, you know, as you do this a couple of times, she'll start realizing that nothing bad is actually happening. And again, in a minute here, I'm going to show you guys how to incorporate the rewards into it as well, which will actually start to make it a little bit more of a positive experience.
Yeah.
This is where we're just going to add a good marker into this, and she may or may not take these treats from you right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do whatever the thing is that she doesn't like, right? So in this case, brushing, whatever, you know. And when she does well with it, I'll mark with good, stop, give her a reward. Really straightforward. And I kind of really try to get in here with this too, you know?
You don't even know we just brushed her for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Good. That was pretty good. Like I was really yanking on that, obviously. So mark with good, give her a reward. If she wants it, great.
She's like,
You can eat
heck
it.
no.
It's right there. If she doesn't, no big deal.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
That comes off all the time. That's all right.
Oh, you broke the brush.
Yeah.
Does it actually hurt, like as you do some of those deeper brushes, does it?
I'm sure it doesn't feel great. You
Yeah.
know? I mean,
Yeah.
it's no different. You get a knot in your hair. You gotta pull it out, you know? But, unfortunately, such is life sometimes.
I just didn't know if a dog ever told you how it felt.
Yeah. And that's why I'm understanding if she gives me a little snap from
Yeah.
time to time with it, you know? I just want to see that inhibition of her not taking it too far, you know? If she turns around and goes like, ow, you know, it's like, that's okay. There we go. But you see, like I was able to get all of that out. Now I'm able to brush this pretty freely through the back of her.
You're gonna be pounds lighter leaving here.
Yeah, seriously. And then now that you guys, you know, have a way of being able to do this, you can kind of upkeep this a little bit better.
Right. Yep.
There we go. Look at that. Good.
She didn't even have dinner. So.
She's pissed. Okay. So you can try to add rewards, and if she doesn't take them, it's really
Yeah,
not that
I
big a
think
deal,
eventually
obviously.
she will, but
Yeah. First time is the hardest.
when she was learning new things in a regular training, it was the same thing. She would not take treats.
All right.
Your lips permanently raised.
I'm trying to figure out if that's like the muzzle, that's just.
Oh, that's
your
just
face.
the muzzle pressing her face. Yeah, yeah.
Is your face stuck like that?
But that's kind of the idea with this, you know?
Yeah.
We saw her progress through not liking it, giving me a little bit of attitude, trying to run away, and then she ended where she just kind of accepted it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the point I want to see you guys hit with this. And, you know, the longer periods of success you have with doing this without any sort of incidents, that's when you can start to fade the muzzle out and start just doing it and stuff like that. But for right now, any sort of stuff like this that you need to do with her, just do it with the muzzle, you know?
It seems so far off that I'd be comfortable doing most of what we just did.
Which is fine.
Muzzle.
No rush.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you guys have a really concrete way of being able to do this and it's working and you want to just keep rolling with that,
Do you have any opinions about us like doing it together versus only one of us doing it? And the reason.
go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna ask just because like we have noticed that sometimes she's worse when we're both there. I don't know if she thinks we're like ganging up on her, which kind of we are,
Sure.
to make sure we didn't get bit. But
Yeah. I don't care either way. The only thing I would say is if it's together, I don't want two people being the ones doing it. You know what I mean?
right.
So regardless, it's like you're doing it or you're doing it, but you can both be present.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know? Because a lot of times what I find is where it does kind of make it worse is like it'll be a two-person process of one person like restraining the dog and the other person going to do whatever it is, and that turns into a big fight, right? If we're needing to like restrain her in order to do these things, we're doing something wrong because we need to see her hit the point where she's just like, I'm just letting you do it.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the learning really takes place with it.
Okay.
Oh, great though.
Cool.
I think she
Yeah.
progressed really nice with that. I think that was
Yeah.
good. I think that's going to be some good stuff for you guys to start working on with her with that.
Okay, yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
So do that for a couple weeks. Give me an update
It's
whenever you
definitely
get a chance to do it.
reassuring.
Yeah.
So.
No, that was all positive. So you can go and pop that muzzle. I'll take that from you. Got hair.
Yeah, and I feel like we saw that, not necessarily in like a learning sense as you were explaining it, but we
Sure.
saw Krista back when she did it,
Yep.
where she wouldn't let go. I
Yeah,
remember
for
that.
sure. It's the same concept, right? With any of these types of things, it's just she puts up a fight because it gets us to go away because she's doing it out of a fear place,
Yeah.
right? So it's obviously the same concept where she puts up the fight, we show her it doesn't work, she starts to get past that hurdle, and as we encounter different types of hurdles, it's important for the dog to realize it. And frankly, because Krista worked through that early on, because we've done a lot of that kind of stuff with her here when she gets nails and stuff like that done and stuff like that. That's why she's so much better here, is because she's tried some of these fights on a more minor scale and they haven't worked. She's just had more victories with you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where kind of doing drills like this and working through some of this kind of stuff at home is going to be really big, because she's going to have less and less of those victories, which means she's going to have less and less attempts.
Yeah.
So, and you guys, again, have done a really great job of mitigating most of it, right? This is just the biggest last hurdle where we're really getting intrusive. We're really doing things she doesn't want us to do, and she's got to learn to kind of tolerate that to some extent.